Hey y'all, Michael Akers here. Thank you for turning back in to another episode of The Carpenter's Woodworker. Now, for those of you who may have seen the demise of the colored pencil blank, it went horribly wrong, and there's no way that I can salvage it. I was going to try to use it for at least a bit of a learning experience on being able to finish the vessel, but that's not going to work out whatsoever. And seeing as I don't have 72 hours to try and wait for another blank to cure right now, I'm going to move on to a different project. So, today, we're going to make pens. Tune in. It's right here. See how it goes. These are different spacers that go along with it for different sized pens. And that's the end of the mandrel right here. Now, this is just simply held into the headstock by friction. And as you turn the lathe on, it spins and allows you to turn the pen blank down. Over on this side, I've taken out my live center and I've replaced it with what's called a mandrel saver. Now what this will simply do is allow the end of this pen mandrel to go inside this little reservoir right here, creating a really good positive contact, adding stability and being able to let me turn this blank much more effectively. I just got off the phone with my buddy Todd Reed. He's a friend of mine at the police department, and the type of wood that he's chosen for his particular pen today is black walnut. That's got a really nice grain pattern that you may be able to see right there. That's really going to stand out really well whenever it turns out that we get done with the finish. I made a couple of different pens using this particular type of wood, and I really enjoy how they turn out. So stay tuned. Whenever you're making pens, quite often what you're going to end up finding is that you're going to purchase kits similar to this. Now the type of pen we're going to be making today is called a bolt action pen. They come with all the different little mechanics that you're going to need to actually make the pen work inside the kit. And most of the stuff you're going to do is pretty much just assembly, in all honesty. Inside the pen you have what's called a barrel. Now the first thing we're going to have to do is take and cut down that stock that we have, this piece of black walnut, to where it's going to fit the length of this barrel. Now what I like to do is I like to try and cut it a little bit farther than what the actual length of the barrel is, so I've got a little bit more material to work with whenever I go to turn it down. Whenever we get done assembling this, like I said previously, it's going to kind of resemble a bullet in a sense. That's going to be the head of it, and that's the tail of it, and then the actual walnut piece is going to be in the middle for the body. This will go inside the barrel, and the action from the back of the pen as it gets inserted here will be what makes it come out the front. Now that I've got my stock cut down to size, I need to find the center of this particular piece. I'll do that by simply taking a straight edge and a very sharp pencil and marking from corner to corner. There are devices out there that you can use to find the center of a particular piece, and those are great, but sometimes you just simply don't need it. Now that I've got it all squared away as far as finding the center goes, line up on my drill press, and we'll go ahead and get this taken care of. Now that I've got my stock drilled out, the next step is to make sure that you insert the barrel into the stock. Now, to do that, you're going to apply a little bit of CA glue, basically just super glue, to the barrel, and then press it into the stock. Now, these barrels typically come with a very smooth, polished finish. You're going to need to rough this up so to give the glue something to grip onto as it goes into the wood. You're going to want to give this glue just a little bit of time for it to set. The main thing you're going to want to look for is the fact that whenever you get done, the barrel itself, the metal part, is recessed inside the wood blank a little bit. After you get done with that, you'll take this little handy device here, insert it in there, commonly either within your power drill or drill press, and it's going to turn and cut down that wood blank until it meets the edge of that barrel. After that, you can put it on the mandrel and get ready to turn it. Alright, now that I've got my blank mounted on my lathe, I'll check for clearance. Everything looks good. Alright, now we can get started. Now that I've got the blank turned down to the shape that I want, I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of it off with sandpaper before I find myself putting on a finishing paste. I'll normally start off where a lot of people kind of end. I'll end up starting off with probably about 320 grit sandpaper and take it down to 2000 grit. I think it puts a really nice finish on there and allows the wax to come out with a really nice shine. Now that I've got the blank sanded down to where I want it to be, I hit it with a tack cloth just to make sure I take off any kind of excess deposits of sawdust and get it out of the grain to where to really let the actual natural grain of the wood shine through. The next thing I'll do is apply a finishing wax to really bring out the actual natural grain of the wood. Now that I have everything sanded down and I've got a natural finish put on here as far as the coat of wax, I'll take it out of the pen mandrel and put it on the press to go ahead and assemble the pen itself. This pen press, made by Rockler, is a really neat tool. You can take all your pieces and kind of loose fit them together right before you put them into the press. And once you get it lined up, put it in between the two different ends and then crank it down, and it really makes it a lot easier for you to put these pens together. Now, Rockler's not a sponsor of this particular show, but hey, if anybody out there from Rockler's watching and you want to give me a shout, feel free. Now that the pen is fully assembled, the last thing to do is just simply do a function check. The bolt action on the back of the pen should cause the inkwell to move forward and come out the tip of the pen. And as you can see there, it works just fine. Todd didn't want a super high gloss finish on the wood, so I finished it with Minwax finishing paste wax. Puts a natural shine on the wood, and that's about it. So, hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you like this particular video, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. Tell your friends about it, and I hope to see y'all next time. Have a blessed day.